in today's shawl. So, hello. Did it start? It doesn't seem to have started on my computer. Did I start it? Oh, yeah, no, it started. There's you petting the cat. Okay, Mom's shawl. I had Nella do some homework to find out which Stephen West shawl it was. Because I couldn't remember which one. I just know I got it a couple years ago, and I was positive it was Stephen West. And this was a mystery. And it turns out she found... I have to look up what she wrote. But you do them in sections, and then you put them together, I guess. But she does... You get like one clue at a time. I wish it was easier to do mysteries in Nalbinding, but... because the size is, everybody's gauge is different, you never know. Anyway, so this is the shawl I'm wearing for Mom this week. Turns out she must have given it to me in about 2022, I think, because it was a 2021 mystery. Let's see. Karl's getting his pussy on over here. Karl and I have been fighting about beer, but sure, first the shawl. Okay. I have to see what she said that it was. Let's see. The shawl is not null-bound. No. To needlebind one, it would be, well, you'd have to, you could do, I guess, in chunks, but then you got to be pretty good at going back and forth to do it because it's not done in the round. Or you'd have to cut it, and then you'd have these ends that you'd have to tie in. But you can see, like, this is just one piece. If I take it off again. See that? Oops. That striped border, this is just one piece. And the way you connect it, or you add on, you change when you get to about this point, depending on which order they work in. And then this, which is done this way, becomes attached to this, which is done this way. But there's different techniques in there. This is like a brioche knitting. And then you've got these big lacy things with the big yarn overs. And then you have this. Okay, so these were also done this way. This is done this way. This is done this way. It's short rows. And then you have all these techniques in there. You got little bobbles, the brick stitch. But here's some more bobbles, different kind of bobbles. But this is, there you can see the direction that was done in. That is also done with short rows. And then a long row over them all, and then short. And then a long one over them all, or the vice versa. So it's probably started here. And then they do this part as one part of the mystery. And then maybe this is another part of the mystery. I'm not sure. I haven't done his mysteries yet because my mom makes so many shawls I don't need to. But it would be nice to do a needle binding one, but it would be a different gauge. So how do you know? But if you got really good at going back and forth anyway, then you could. Stephen West, yeah. It's called West Knits. West and the Knits, he's from Netherlands. Garcia's part of the world. The guy that writes it. And he's fabulous. I mean, I'm not kidding though. He's actually fabulous. The guy is just incredibly entertaining to watch on his lives. So you should see them. Whoops, the gimbal went up. How did the gimbal go up all of a sudden? We'll turn it back on here a minute. You're watching me sideways. Oh, battery. Okay, so the battery on the gimbal died. It's okay, we have a backup plan. It just means that we'll have to do it like that, maybe. Ta-da! And now we have a box set up.
Didn't I bring you the charger thing?
Yeah, but I thought I charged it last week more than enough. It usually goes like a couple of weeks before it needs another charge, but you know, and it's from 2021, this one, so much for that. But this is the wonderful thing that keeps my camera from doing this. But dead battery. It's not happy. I couldn't figure it out. All of a sudden I look over at the gimbal and it's like facing the ceiling. How many cobwebs did you see up there? There's a few. It's a cool ceiling though. Okay, so the name of the shawl, that's what I was looking up when it went the other way. Nella found it for me. It was called Shawlography, And it was the 2021 mystery. And then she has a link which I can copy into the chat here. Let's see. That's the name of the shawl, unless maybe Nella's already linked it. But he's from Midwest United States, but lives in the Netherlands. Ah, okay, because he's got an interesting accent, but not from Minnesota. I don't know. My mom's met him a couple times though. She says he's just fabulous, but he is. He's fabulous. There's no other way to say it.
Which one of these are mine?
Oh yeah, Karl needed alcohol and he didn't trust my beer choice, so he is having. This is mine. This is cappuccino with a little bit of Kahlua because it's Saturday, and Karl's having frappe mix with a little bit of. You can't have that yet. 40% orange control. No, you have to. No.
You have to stop me from drinking.
You have to have a beer first.
Yeah, so but the beers you brought are not beers. So
I brought the. Okay, so you get to choose between the 4.7 mystery can and the 5.2 mystery can, which is taller.
Well, obviously, 5.2 is better than 4.7. That's not even.
Okay.
That's not even a challenge. It's simple mathematics.
Anyway, Karl is still upset about last week. Because
I think I'm going to be upset this week too.
Because it's Noisam, which tends to be a little on the perfumey side.
Yes.
But it's steam beer. Noisam steam beer. No, he's still upset about the creek last week. He was gonna, fought that he deserved to have the Belgian, and then he didn't like it because it was cherries. And oh my God, we watched that back. I was laughing so hard because the look on my face, just you can see as soon as I smelled cherries, I knew this was gonna go wrong. So I'm like, go ahead, drink it. You deserve it. After all that. So now he's fighting, and he thinks that he should be able to have a strong Belgian beer in addition to the 40% that's alcohol that's in that, per shot. 40.
Do you see the color of this beard?
Do you see the color of the beard after that?
Yes.
He's a
the
puddle.
The point is that I am old enough to make my own stupid decisions.
All right, so you're going to have this nice on steam. Didn't we find out? Go ahead, make your own decisions. You're going to have this. Your girlfriend might be a little controlling. Steam beer is, it's Norwegian. Or is it in...
It's Norwegian.
I thought it was Danish for some reason. Okay, well, steam beer er en balansert og smaksrik pilsner, like god en sommerkveld som på en hustrig tirsdag. What the heck is hustrig? Cold. Okay, that's a new word for me. I november. Denne gilden Erlen kombinerer både pils og alle el-egenskaper, som gjør at den på mesterlig vis klarer kunststykket å være herlig normal og akkurat passe edge. And then there's a little bit more here, but you can read that part because your Norwegian is much better than my sounding. But it's a steam beer, which is balanced and full flavored beer, or pils anyway, which is just as good on a summer's evening that it is on a cold Tuesday in November. Well, it's a cold Saturday in November. You'll live. The golden ale combines both pils, and if you bump that camera, Cat, you're gonna. Let's see. Combines both the pils and the ale properties, which makes it masterfully showing the clear artistic, I want to say kunststryke, and lovely normal, hardly normal.
Yeah.
Lovely normal.
It's just
to
word
be
salad.
Lovely normal. It's word salad. Try it.
Make it.
But look at it. It's like Johnny Depp in a beer.
But I know this
the
brewery.
Mad Hatter.
They don't make beer. They make perfume.
They make perfume. Well, that's okay. But you were having orange in your frappe, so how come that's okay?
Because it's not beer.
No, and it's like a chocolate frappe.
It's a lot of things I like, but I don't want to put in beer.
I want to smell.
Shrimp.
Open it! They don't put shrimp in beer. That's disgusting.
I like shrimp, but I won't put it in beer. Is my point.
Oh, okay. Oh, he get it on the couch. I kill you. I had to take the blankets off the couch so the cats scratch it.
It doesn't taste horrible.
You have a glass.
Smell is also okay-ish.
All right. Let's see.
color is a little bit light by my taste, but if it's a Pilsner, it's completely
I'm going to be
fine.
so disappointed if it's not perfumey.
Don't think it is.
No?
Don't smell any perfume.
Okay, we'll see how he goes. Looks like Johnny Depp beer. See? Arlene says it too. She read my mind. Or maybe I read hers. I didn't look at the screen until now. Oh, it still says top chat. I got to switch it to live so I can see everybody.
Smell this.
Perfume. I feel like we're looking up, everybody's looking up our noses here. Maybe I can make this a little taller.
It's not that perfumey. Compared to Siv Fjell, for instance, this is
7
not perfumey
Siv
at all.
Fjell, which is the Bergen beer, yeah.
Yeah.
Here, let's move that away from the table a bit.
Their bears has like prostitutes wash in it.
To see who's there. See if you like it too, by the way. Jesus, Carl. Thirsty much?
I would say this classifies as okay.
He likes the Johnny Depp beer. You know, if we put sunglasses on you and give you a steampunk hat, you'd look like
When
that.
you refuse to give me strong bear, woman, I compensate by drinking it quickly.
Oh, man. Did you ever have one of these? The guy, not the beer. The Johnny Depp beer. So, Carl, if we gave you rose-colored glasses or blue-colored glasses, you could look just like this guy. We need a top hat.
Yeah, of course.
Except for the beard, but Johnny Depp could only dream of having a beard like that.
Didn't I recently threaten you about buying a top hat?
Yeah, I think I have a top pack actually, but it's in storage. It's a family one. That's the information on the beer for those wondering. You can only drink it in the city. No.
I would say that this is better than average beer. It's not
you
great,
like
but it's surprisingly good considering.
That means you don't have to drink the other one super fast. However, your hot beverages might be getting cold. I did heat the glass first, though. This is these mugs are based on a find, but the original. This is actually a little bit bigger than this one. They're huge. The original is like tiny.
Also notice this.
Yeah.
When I am drinking something, he always goes to my lap, and he understands enough physics to know that when I hold my arm out like this, that's the right spot to headbutt if you want to spill beer on me.
I feel like I want to put the camera up taller. It's bugging me that it's sitting that low. Hang on a minute. I can watch Karl drink. Hot tip for people who are going to send any post soon, do it now because it will be chaotic in a week or so. Good point. Because Christmas. So I actually have, look at that. I have to deal with that after YouTube is done, just so you know, there's a reason. You haven't even made dinner yet. We have to do...
You haven't even made dinner.
Oh no, you're making dinner now. I'm chugging a lug over there. Okay, let's see. I feel like that might be a little bit better height. There you go. Now we're not so much looking down on people. Okay, so I have to say hi. Let's see who's here. Bring the computer over a little closer. So we got Nella here, who helped me out. Thank you for looking up the shawl for me. Max is here. Albert's here. And let's see. Lyra's here. Kiwi's here. Susan's here. Max is here. Heidi Lisette. Lindsay. James Steele. Garcia's here. Holland representing. There we go. Arlene is here. We got a lot of countries represented. Suze. PJ. And if you didn't write in chat, I don't know if you're here because I can't tell who's here. I can only tell how many are on.
Countries there that I haven't insulted yet?
Let's see. We have, going back, we have Finland, United States, Norway, England, Holland. Let's see. Canada. At some point Germany, but Susie Youngman's back in the Adirondacks.
Sure, I have insulted at least the Dutch and the Germans.
I
think I've insulted the Finnish.
I complimented the Dutch by making their cheese Norwegian. That was a couple years ago. Okay, so I have an unboxing today. I was playing, let's see, I can't do this without shaking everything up. I've been playing with the wall in the background. Now you can see how the yarn is looking when it gets up there. I got to put some more skeins up there. But now that I saw that it turns out, I realized I need more hooks because I wasn't sure how many I would need. And I would love to use just plain pegboard, but apparently you can't find that too easily in Norway, where it can be mailed. And then I just started hanging wood stuff on the wall, but I don't know how I'm going to put it yet. But now, where those kids are, there will be, we got a new piece because since that little one worked out, I went to order another one, but they don't have the small squares anymore, at least not to be mailed. So I have an unboxing, but it's, now you know what it is, so it's not really that exciting anymore, is it? Let's see.
I don't know what it is. So.
Well, I was talking about putting yarn on there for a couple weeks now, since we have this background. Claes Olsen, actually, maybe, oh, that's why. I think we got that at Biltema. So I ordered at Claes Olsen, but a lot of them have this, there are different, they usually get the same, from the same companies, like they all carry Bosch, Black & Decker.
This, the last 4 days, I've been back in Serbia with my father. He's 92.
It's a big box.
And I went to the shop for him and he said, oh, while you're there, you can just pick up my medicines. I say, sure, because I'm expecting a medicine package to be like this. It turns out to be 2 boxes that are like this, enormously big. So I have a kind of job getting it back home.
Big box. It's on the floor.
And now today, when I'm at work,
I told you it was going to be a big box.
She tells me, oh, you can also pick up 2 packages. I say, sure. One of the packages basically fit in my pocket, and the other one is that one.
Yeah, the other package was 3 nail polishes, 1 for me and 2 for one each kid.
So between her and my father, I am now developing strong skepticism for people who want me to pick up packages.
Okay, so I didn't even realize it. I just thought immediately that it was from Claes Olsen, but it's actually from Biltema, where we got it. But it should be the same. Okay, this might not be as easy to open as I thought.
It says Claes Olsen on the package.
No, I know. I ordered it from Claes Olsen, but I forgot that the one that I just realized now that the one we ordered was not from Claes Olsen. It was from Biltema. Because I was wondering. Oh, the cat likes the plastic.
Yeah, but
I know. I ordered it from the wrong place, but it was the same one. I mean, they had it on the website, on their web shop. Then that's why I was thinking they didn't deliver, because Biltema probably doesn't deliver, but Claes Olsen does. So I kind of got lucky there. Holy crap! It's got staples.
yeah, I should probably turn the camera so people can see
What I'm doing over here? Okay. Yeah. All right. I'm blocking off half the light though with this thing. Let's see. I need more knife. So he literally brought this through the door like 15 minutes before we went on. So, oh, we can annoy things. No, we're not popping those now. It's loud.
She says throwing it to the floor with the cats.
But it is the same thing. So hopefully it's about the same size. But can you see there, if you turn it the other way, there you go. You can put it back in front now. You can rest it again. So it's meant for tools, and it's a heavy-duty one, because what I really wanted is just a simple plywood pegboard. But I can't find that anywhere in Norway. I mean, I'm sure I could order it from China and have it sent over, but I'm trying to be a little patriotic in ordering.
Yeah, and we shouldn't give the Chinese more money than we have to.
They got enough. So for, little things like canvases maybe, but anyway, so it's for hanging tools. But then the pegs are not just the simple little flip-in. That's kind of what I wanted. It's a Pinterest idea, and I tested it, and I liked it. So, but you have these pegboards where you just stick the pegs in and push it down. It's really easy, and you can just move it with it. You never know how big the skein of yarn is. But these pegs, they're like, the hooks are like this, and you got to screw them in. And this is a small one. The other one's bigger. But it turns out it was better to get... the
cats have found the packing material.
Oh, yeah, no, he's having a blast. Let's see, put this down. Here, hold that a minute. I'll get that big box out of the way because it's creating quite the shadow. Big box. We will be... I might have hit a cat. That's okay. They're going to run away from it scared, and then they're going to play. Okay, so... And then we have... It was actually cheaper to buy a set of 30, but it's a variety of hooks and a... Oh, yeah, the cats are in the box already. I have to show you. Let's see. There they are, in the box. Well, you can't see them, but they're in there. Okay. No, so they had a variety of hooks. This is actually the one I want. You can see they're bigger. But that explains why the hooks don't look exactly the same. But it would be much more ideal if it was just the straight flipping hooks that just go straight out, so then you can stick the skein on there. Anyway, maybe one day I find pegboard and then I can use this for spools. So then I have to screw this in place, but I've only just, it's got like 2 screws. So basically one screws it in place and the other one keeps it from doing this. But it's yarn, it's not going to fly. So I just use the 1 screw so I can move it around easier.
There is already wool everywhere.
I got all the yarn out, I'm ready. So I have to kind of hook it in, but I can hook it in anywhere. But if you cake the yarn first, then you can do this. And then I could do it lower. There we go. Ta-da! And you can like move it around in colors and stuff. So this is what I'm doing. Because it's also insulation, right? But you can see I can move the colors around and kind of go with a bit of sorry, I'm bugging the microphone there. I can move the colors around and kind of go with like a rainbowy flow. What is the cats doing in the box now? Are they?
No, Silly pushed this wall over. No, first he pushed the wall over, so it landed on Silly, and Silly panicked a little bit.
The cats have a new toy. No, so anyway, but that's the idea. But also, the other thing I was a little concerned about too is if the cats are going to climb that, because we have one cat that you saw, he likes to climb up everything.
Yeah.
We can put this over there now. These are heavier though. Anyway, it works. It's not what I wanted. It's more expensive, but it works. So the idea was to get a little at a time. And I kind of like the fact that they're in sections, because then you never know what the next wall is going to look like. It might be a shorter wall. Oh, I forgot where I was going with that anyway. But oh yeah, no, I wasn't sure how I was going to go with the cats on it. But then I thought I can put a sheet, kind of like a Roman curtain, up there on the top, and then if I notice the cats are climbing, I can maybe just pull the sheet down when I'm not using it, or when I'm not home, and then kind of lift it up when I'm using it again. We'll see. But so far they haven't tried to climb it. But if I see that that's happening anyway, then I'll have to find a way to keep it. But the idea there would be to keep the yarn on handy. I don't think I would
climb it where it is now.
Yeah.
Because Silly absolutely loved the high ground. He wants a place where he can sit and look out.
Yeah.
But since it doesn't lead anywhere,
no.
he won't climb it.
And he
will climb here, because here he can actually sit. When he manages to get up there, he can sit there and kind of look out.
Yep.
So this is not safe, but that I think is perfectly safe. I don't think he would climb it unless you give him some kind of perch to sit on.
Yeah, they weren't climbing the quilts when they were on the wall either. Not really.
No.
So
it's only here, because here it gives him access to that spot up there.
Yep. So that's the idea. And then, of course, I want to put the fat yarn on it. So that big pink that you saw in the corner is, let's see. It's like bubblegum yarn. I bought this long time ago to make a sweater for Alex. She picked it out, and I had like 1 strand of mohair with it as well, but it's like super thick. But I decided to put the thick yarns up there first because that's the easiest ones to make quick hats up. And I'm making my kid. This is not my stash busting yarn, by the way. I'm doing horrible, so I'm starting to pull in yarn that's not in my stash busting. But I have a story back behind that anyway. But she'll get some bubblegum looking wrist warmers, I think, because they're pink. I hate pink, but she likes it. Anyway, but yeah, so that's the ones I'm going to put on the wall, the big fat ones. So what do you think of my yarn project? It's going to provide insulation. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, Nancy's here too, by the way. Welcome back. Okay, I have to go through chat real quick. Let's see. Nella says, black yarn in November are not a good match. Nope. I've been trying to keep away from having black as the color of the month because that light isn't bright enough for me to see. I have to use when I'm using the black, not only do I need a strong light like right here, and I saw Nella had the flashlight things on, but also I need a magnifier in addition.
I might be stupid. Why is black and November a bad combination?
How well do you see in the dark?
Very badly, but that's why I turn on the lights.
Yeah, but November, yeah, no, but I mean, even when you turn on, it's really hard to see the stitches when you're needle binding them
No,
black.
but
That's what they say. If you knit, if they knit or crochet or needle bind anything for you with the color black, they must really, really like you.
no, but that's the thing, because we are in Norway, so this is true for October, November, December, January, February, March. So half the year.
So, okay, when I want to see, you can see the stitches in here quite easily. This nice light pink, you can really see the stitches. But can you see this? This one is a little harder to see, and this is navy blue. Shows up better on my computer anyway, but this is actually crochet, by the way, if you didn't figure it out. Okay, so I've been cheating on my stash busting. I did get stash busting done. I have to wait to see how much I did. My kids, they were learning to knit, so I actually, well, it's not cheating. I just knitted some of it instead of crochet. But I did take yarn that wasn't part of it. So I may finish the wrist warmers for my kids. I wanted to show them one that they could knit with the stitches they know how to do, so they can make some presents for their friends if they want. So this was the pink set, but this is knit. Although you could do this in Coptic too. It's 2 right ones and 2 wrong ones, or 2 regular and 2 backwards. And then I made 2 of these, which I showed last week, but this yarn is not in my stash busting yarn. So twin 1 gets these, twin 2 gets pink. And then I wanted to show them how to make a hat that they could make that was flat. You can see here it starts on this end, ends on this side, and then you fold it over and you sew it together. I thought that would be easy for them to do because they don't know how to knit in the round yet, but they know how to knit back and forth. And this is actually inside out. This is a pussy hat. We are not going to be political here because actually it's nothing to do with politics. It's because my kid has a thing for kitties.
Yeah, but that's pussy as in pussycat, not
Pussycat. Well, no, the original hat pattern is from a movement in 2020. Try it on, Carl. We want to see you look like a kitty cat. But anyway,
you might mean kitty cat, not vagina.
That's what the original one was. Yes. No, turn it. You don't have ears if you do that. So it's a straight box style hat.
I don't think there is anything straight about this hat.
But the way it gets pulled apart when you have it on your head, because your head is round, not flat, it kind of pulls on the stitches and it looks like ears. So Karl looks like a pretty little kitty there. I made these for my kids a couple years, 2 years ago, I thought it was. But the one that I made was crochet and they want to have crochet. So I had to, that one was a reject. They didn't like it. So I had to crochet one. So Karl and I are pussies. But they like that there's kitty ears because the little kitty, the pusheen kitty is like really popular right now. So now I'm trying to needle bind one because Cecilia didn't think that her sister Alex would like the ribbing on this one. So now I have to make.
To wear this, you have to be either 14-year-old, a lesbian, or ideally both.
There you go. So anyway, how are we insulting?
14-year-old lesbians everywhere.
Yeah, so now I'm going to needle bind
Not
one
really
because
insulting them either. I'm just telling them that I can wear this hat.
the difference between the crochet one and the needle binding is not big. So that one, this one is needle bound and also stitch, and it started bottom up technically, except for that hat, these wrist warmers, and this one that I started is all my stash busting yarn. I even put a little in a hat that I was working on, which isn't quite done yet. And I don't have any. I thought, okay, it's fine that I used all the pink that was in my stash busting pile, which was good, but I don't have any more of this in pink. So I can't, I'm like a little bit too short on the hat.
And we're talking about insulting nations. I did actually insult a Finnish person today in real life.
Really? Tell Nella, she's interested.
You know what's his name? He's one of the good freemen.
Jan Harald.
Yeah, his girlfriend.
Really, oh yeah, she's from.
She is half Finnish, half Swedish.
Oh yeah.
So I commented that you are surprisingly social for being half Finnish.
I'm sorry, Nella. I can't control them.
And she said, yeah, no, it's probably just that the Swedish genes are stronger. And then she told me a story about when everybody in her family, when they have boyfriends that are Swedish and they take them to meet their Finnish family, they mix drinks for them, but it's like this much vodka with this much soda on top.
Yeah.
And they are not aware of this because they're Swedish, so they're stupid. So they get drunk out of their head, and their uncles and the fathers of the girls will just sit around and giggle at drunken Swedes on their floor.
Oof, 31. You poor thing. You're drunk and giggling on the floor. I caught half of it. I was suddenly distracted by chat because I'm ignoring chat.
I
so-
am the one who's supposed to be drunk at this point. This is about as drunk as
I
I'm
put
allowed
Kahlua in
to
mine.
be
I
by
put
my
Kahlua in mine, but mine is only like 12.
American housekeeper over here.
Not keeping a good house. That's why you don't get to see the rest of it. Okay, back to so this one. I actually made a pattern for it for needle binding. It's like 2 pictures and it's done. So I'll post it at some point. But anyway, bottom up, you have to make sure that because you can make it in the round, which is what this one is. And you do the circumference of your head, except for with needle binding, you need it to be a couple more about maybe an inch or 2 more because it shrinks as you get bigger, where the crochet does not. Yes. Anyhow, so actually I didn't even size it quite right. It's actually, this one's still a little bit bigger. It's about that much bigger. It shrunk more than I thought.
Yeah, that one is a little bit bigger.
Yep. So anyway, but you can see I am missing about this much height. And I don't know what to do. So I grabbed the bubblegum yarn thinking that would work, but oh my God, no. So that's going to be another pair of wrist warmers. But I think, what if I do at the bottom to our virkelig rosa society? You're really pink. Oh, you took the hat off now. Yep. Anyway, you could try this one on, but I do have, this is how much, let's see. I still have a lot of my dedicated stash that I got to use up. This was my stash busting commitment. So all the pink is gone, but I'm thinking I could maybe, if I make it upside down, basically what I was going to intend on doing, I could put this here. So it'll still be a pink kitty on top, or maybe the white. The white might get too dirty. I don't know. She has to get something. Either there she's getting the knitted one anyway. I can't put a knitted one in the store.
Are you saying that you can make a dirty pussy hat?
Yeah, we're not going into the politics of the pussy hats. Don't worry about it. It's because they wanted kitty cat ears, and that's the only way I know how to do it. So anyhow, because politics, I can't go into it. But when it's done, all you have to do is stitch it together along the top, and that's it. Just whip stitch across, and it's done. And when you put it on your head, it automatically turns into ears. The pink was the movement color, but actually the only reason it's pink is because one kid wanted a pink hat and one kid wanted a blue hat. I don't know if they remember the origins of the political origins of it, but they wanted the ears. So
I'm generally better acquainted with American politics than she is, and I have no idea what she's talking about.
Oh, so. It's about 4 years ago. It goes back. Anyway, we're not going. I don't want to go into it. It's too controversial shit we don't need to have. Okay, so let's go back to chat. But that was what my stash busting was. I need to weigh it and see how much I used up of my 645 grams. Let's see. The shawl is knit, not null-bound. They got a heater in Dallas. They turned on the heater this week in Dallas, says Lindsay. I'm impressed. It's been really cold this week, though. We're going through wood like mad.
Yeah, it is.
And the snow is staying on the ground. It's cold everywhere, actually. I can see Holland is cold. Yeah, he's an American living in Amsterdam, says Garcia. And Nellis says as well, Midwest U.S., living in Netherlands. That's referring to Stephen West.
Yeah, but
I always thought he was Dutch. But that explains why he's...
gone like half an hour back in time.
Because I'm reading in a chat, yeah. Let's see. Oh, Arlene's in Selkirk, Manitoba, Canada. Let's see. Karl has tried... Karl, oh yeah, you have. Have you tried an espresso martini? Lyra wants to know. I think it was Lyra. Oh, Andrea's here too, by the way.
Yes, that's what we drank in England.
Mm-hmm.
The one
I think we had one in the United States.
Decided to go for liquid candy in the hotel bar.
Yeah. You didn't drink yours up all the way, did you?
Yes, of course I did.
That's an American-sized mug. Oh my God, you're going to be swimming later. Okay.
I'm only swimming later if I drink more now.
Okay, Dre has a question for you, by the way. What did Vikings use or make or how for Tegelharp bow resin? Do you know that one?
I don't know.
I always thought it was sinew, but I don't know. Maybe horsehair?
But, resin, I don't understand. Are you talking about the strings?
Bow. Oh, maybe bow rosin, it says, but I think she meant resin. Tegel harp bow resin.
Yeah, I don't know.
Espen Winter. We need to channel Espen Winter. He knows.
And I'm also uncertain, unless I've found an actual bow from Tegel harp. And I think I've found like one Tegel harp.
Yeah.
And the odds of there being a bow with that one is pretty slim.
If you know the music group Eldrim, Eldrim, then you'll see one guy who has got a cross necklace that he's wearing, actually, and then it's kind of funny to watch that whole debate on his YouTube about the Viking wearing the cross. Anyway, a crucifix, but or no, it's just a cross, not a crucifix even. But he makes tegel harps, so he might have something on his page that'll show you how he did it or what he's been using.
Yeah.
Another one would be Don Shaw.
Yeah, now
historical
obviously
instruments, I think he calls
they would have something that works. But if that is the same thing that works as was used in the Viking Age, I don't know if they know. But I'm sure they have strong opinions about it, so just feel free to ask them.
Yeah. Peach is running back and forth between the living room and the kitchen making dinner and lip balm. Mustn't get the two confused. That could be a real interesting dinner. I haven't made my own lip balm before. My kids got a little kit where they could try once to make. And it was supposed to be, you could add this color, and I mean, if they added the whole jar of color, it still wouldn't color. It was like a little kit, but. And then we have Elon's father Vidar Hedlund makes it, and we have it in the shop with from the honeys, from the bees.
When I was going chemistry laboratory, I helped the girl making lip balm. It wasn't my project, it was hers, but I helped out a little bit.
Yeah.
But I don't remember the ingredients or anything.
No, the kid when I had it was just like, combine this with this, add your favorite color.
Yeah. But,
and maybe a flavor or something, and then you just mix it up and put it in a container and put it in your fridge.
This was kind of advanced chemistry, so we used things we found in the school. It wasn't just add water type shit.
No.
But I don't remember what she put in it.
And Vidar and Ellen's lip balm that they make that we have in the shop, that's all I know is it's made from the bees that are right across the river in Gudvangen here. So it's something from the bees, and then they've got lavender flavor and peppermint flavor. So there's obviously an extract in there somewhere.
They're probably using the wax from the bees. I don't see much.
It's really good. It's a little hard, but when it softens up. Hot tipple people. Oh yeah, it was a post office. We did that one.
Okay, the noise on bear is approved by Fuzzy.
The cat is drinking it, or trying to. You should make Karl michelada. It's a beer drink with shrimp in it. Laugh out loud, says Suze. Oh, careful what you wish for.
Do not do that.
I like it. No, we're getting shrimp. Okay, we're gonna learn how to make, and that's worth learning how to make beer.
People have to understand that you have things that are good separately, but turns out really bad when you combine them. Any kind of fruit and beer goes in this category. I'm willing to bet money that shrimp and beer in the same drink goes into this category.
Yeah.
I'm also a great fan of military strategy, military history, and sex, but I'm not trying to combine them.
Thank God. Lindsay says, can we get Greg to come and tell some stories during the winter? Oh, I would absolutely love it, but he leaves earlier in the winter.
Actually, that could probably be arranged.
You think so? Because he's been talking about coming, but every time he says he's going to come,
today I had kind of I was a little bit annoyed by Greg, because Greg says, I can drive you home, and then I leave a little bit before 6. And I want to work to 6.
Because that's how long you're on the schedule
that's
for, yeah.
That's my work hours.
Yeah.
So I'm annoyed that I have to sign out and leave before. But Greg thought he was doing me a favor. He thought he was getting me home in time for YouTube.
Oh, I know, we moved it back.
I explained it to him that, okay, we have postponed YouTube, so we are doing it at past. So he says, oh yeah, okay, no problem.
Yeah.
So at least today, and maybe some other days, he will be driving me home anyway.
Yeah.
So I don't see a major problem in him coming in for a little bit.
I keep telling him he's in demand to hear his stories. Everybody likes his stories, but every time he says he's going to come next week, and then something comes up.
Yeah, something might come up. I can't say that, but at least his schedule seems to be open for the idea, and I can ask him. No problem.
Oh, Arlene's talking about the board. She says it's a good sized board. Oh yeah, but I have no problem filling it. It's just a matter of having enough hooks. I have more than enough yarn to fill this entire wall.
She does.
It's a lot.
She could fill this entire wall in probably 7 nights.
There's the containers right there that I brought out just to fill it up with.
Yeah. This room isn't even the yarn storage.
No. We got another room just as big as this, and the whole wall is filled with those containers. It's yeah.
It's
with
a
the yarn. It is.
Try to get her the help she needs.
The first step is admitting I have a problem.
No, she is bragging about having a problem.
I'm doing stash busting. How's your orc problem going? How many orcs do you have now?
A little bit over 200.
Mm-hmm. And how many have you painted? Completely done?
I would say, well, completely, meaning I glued the arms back on. Probably like 5.
Nope, because we haven't even it was maybe 5 or maybe not, maybe less than that. But we haven't finished sprayed them yet.
The part of the kill team that wasn't so complicated that I had to take the arms off are finished painted.
Yeah.
The other part are mostly finished painted, but I didn't glue their arms on because I wanted to paint their chest that would be covered by their guns and whatever. So they are not finished, but they are finished.
They're getting closer. Okay, but how much have you worked on yours? You have said you were going to do 1,000 points.
Yeah.
By the end of the year. How many have you done?
0.
Yes, I'm winning.
You're not winning.
No, actually, it's you against yourself.
Maybe against Albert.
Albert, how many did you do, by the way? Tell me you've got some done, because, I have to rub it in. Because Albert also is, he's stash busting orcs, or, well, not orcs, but whatever he's got for 40k, the Warhammer ones. Let's see, Kiwi says, this week I've been working on needlebound Christmas heart decorations, and I think I'll sell at the little Christmas market next weekend. Oh, I saw that's in Bergen. There's going to be a really nice one. That's a good idea. Those Christmas hearts do really well, and you can put like a button in the middle too if you want, and you can hang them on the tree. They look quite cool. You can also do those baskets, the ones that kind of weave into each other and look like a heart. Very Scandinavian. Don't! That makes such nasty noise.
No. I'm just giving it to the cats.
No, but don't. No, the feedback is annoying on that thing. I'll play it back and you can hear what plastic sounds like on YouTube. It's not pretty.
Silly.
I'm sorry. He decorated the cat. The cat ran.
The cats ran away, but I think the curiosity will bring them back.
Roger says, New Year's resolution, aim for 0 so you can come out ahead all the time. Or always come out ahead. There you go. Well, I think I waged about as much as I did last year, but this time no thin yarn. But there's things like the bubblegum yarn that sneaks in, and this is sneaking in. It's not part of my stash busting, but my kids wanted a hat with cat ears, so that's what I did. Let's see. The holes are spaced for the same than regular pegboard hooks will work, as she's talking about the board. Yeah, if you just have that regular plywood with the holes in it, and then you can just buy the hooks quite easily anyway. They just look like, I don't know, 2 prongs and one goes up and then the hook sticks out.
To go too far into the lands of innuendo, but any stick that fits in the hole will fit in the hole.
Okay. But yeah, I like that idea anyway. But you look on Pinterest and look for like pegboard yarn or something like that. I mean, it wouldn't take too many search words to fall down the rabbit hole, but it can look so cool. So you can make your stash look like art on the wall. But I think it's got to be a bit of insulation too. As long as the cats don't try to climb on it.
She wants excuses.
I've got excuses. Tova Bryansdottir is here in Kansas, by the way. It's chilly there, too. Raymond Roberts is here. Didn't see him earlier. He's inserted the matchsticks under his eyelids. He's coming all the way from upside down land, so Australia's representing, too. You've got a lot of Australians these days.
At work, you mean?
Yeah. They'll come and visit. They come out of the woodworks in the winter because it's their vacation now. Their summer vacation, so they come here to freeze.
Yes, and the Australians have not learned how to dress for the. It's kind of funny. I was talking to Thomas about this today.
Yep.
You have some people who know how to dress, and some people who clearly don't.
Is he still wearing shorts?
Thomas, no, he is.
Oh, okay.
He's
got big boy pants on now.
But he's from the Czech Republic, so he is used to cold. But the thing I find funny is particularly the South Americans, because they come here with their Instagram clothes and Instagram hair and just hope it's going to work. And I absolutely want their selfies in their
With the
tank
exposed
top and with
cleavage
the...
and
They can't even wear a hat because of the hair.
No, yeah. Oh, you gotta have your hat.
And then you have the Eastern Europeans. And that is the one thing I can't wrap my head around. I was hoping that either Pavel or Thomas could explain it, but they just kind of shook their head. Women from that part of the world loves to dress completely sensibly from the belly button up, and then nothing from the belly button down. So you run across women in high heels and pantyhose, and then they have like a thick jacket, a scarf, gloves, and a hat.
But not the hair, yeah.
Are the bottom part of you in another time zone?
They need to get the kitty cat earmuffs, or the ones with the rabbit fur on, or something.
They will occasionally wear things like that. They like flamboyant.
You know when Vildeman, that Danish movie that was filmed in Gudvangen, I don't know, right before the pandemic anyway. So it was Vildeman anyway, and then they've got a Norwegian guy who's playing one of the lead roles in the Viking village that they visit, which is our Viking village, and it was anyway. But to keep warm between shoots, because when he was on film, he obviously didn't have the his ears covered because he's got to be a big tough Norwegian guy. He had these white rabbit fur earmuffs that he would wear because it wouldn't mess his hair. He could have the thing going behind here, it could go under here, however, but it was kind of funny. This
wasn't
big
filmed in the winter.
Runa, was it Tempta? Runa
That was
Tempta.
filmed in the autumn or something.
It was cold. No, it was like January.
No snow on the ground.
No, but there's never any snow on the ground in Gudvangen. It doesn't usually stick.
There is snow on the ground right now.
Yeah, but it usually lasts like about a week or something. Last year it lasted a whole month before it went away, which is impressive. Because usually it's like gone within a couple of days of it landing. Because of the valley. Anyway, Runa Tempta, big guy anyway, and I think he was in Game of Thrones too. Anyway, let's see. I was reading more here because we're getting a little late. Max was, I think, was it Max? No, PJ says, I was reading and I forgot where it was. Maybe it was Max. Was making wrist warmers from the wrist up for some reason, and I lost the comment. No, it's Max. I'm currently making a pair of gloves in Mommen, which I'm making from the wrist upwards. I haven't done that in a long time, and I'm using the medium dark gray yarn. I do that. A lot of people like to start at the top, and the same thing with the socks. They start with the toe, but I always start here, because let's see if I can show. I get a better fit that way. There's no other reason but the thing is, when I make a certain amount of stitches, remember when you're doing needle binding, it will shrink up a little bit when you connect over 3 rows. You'll lose a little bit of the circumference because the first row is only bound adjacently, side to side. But when you hit 2 rows, then it's top to bottom. But then when you have 3 rows, the middle row is now bound in every single direction. You have the true gauge. So when I start with the wrist, and that basically determines how long it's going to be. Because if I have too many, if it's too wide, then maybe it starts down here. I just keep going. But once it hits about this point, then I start increasing. Just on one side for the thumb. That's how I make mine. It's the same as the mitten pattern on Instagram. You just got to go way down to find it. But there you can see it's starting to expand. And then when I get here, it's easier to just go around, make a little chain, maybe 3 stitches, and then hop over. And then just do the rest up as far as I want. But it's easier for me to adjust this way than it is to adjust this way. No personal preference, but also if I start at the top or the toe on a sock, it will always fit just right while I'm making it. But when I'm all done, oh yeah, I have one here. These ones are from Stashbusting 2020, the first one. These ones are actually a little bit longer than I wanted to because I started at the toe and I made the finger heel Klaus Büttner style. Anyway, I thought I'd measured it quite right, but actually the heel kind of sticks down a little bit further and the toe gets a little bit longer. So I still prefer to make the afterthought heels or the afterthought thumb and start at the top. Because if it's too wide at the top, then maybe my foot doesn't start here, maybe it starts here. But these ones were done with the Stashbusting 2020 and with Merby Passanen's pattern. I was trying it in her book with one needle. So I made that. It's okay, but it tends to, the heel tends to slide down. So I'd have to like tweak it to find out exactly. But because I started that way, then here's where you can see I started using up every little bit, including the last little bit of the blue yarn I had in my dedicated stash. So everything got used. That was the year I won. And there's 2 of them. I did actually make 2. But yeah, because when I start this way anyway, how big it is, if it ends up being too wide, it just starts further up my leg than it would otherwise. So that's why I kind of prefer to make mine from the bottom up too, like you do. But you can go either way. Let's see. We are 10 minutes to go, and I still am not even close on the chat. They have the smallest amount of Minnesota Drea. Hi, Drea, by the way. But it melted right away, and now we are playing the game of is that ice or water while driving and walking. They got snow before we did, but it was unseasonably warm when we were there. Karl knows all about that. Dark gray was a good alternative to black, said Lyra. I like that suggestion too. Raymond the Bunny King says, Arlene, we are sitting at -7, going to a Santa Claus parade this evening. It should be around 11. Oh my, -11. Jeez, it's gonna get cold. No, it was what, -8 Celsius here. It's starting to get a little bit warmer. I noticed the snow on the ground helps.
It's not been that cold since I've been here.
No, it's just in the evening, but it was -8 when you were at your father's a couple days ago. That was cold. We went through a lot of wood. Let's see. PJ says they're on the edge of a storm. Very annoying. Park run canceled because of the forecast of strong winds, but which didn't reach them anyway. Nolvia's here, by the way. Can you dismantle the pink kitty hat to use the yarn? I thought about it because this is the thing. I'm thinking I might just... I don't know. It depends on the kid. This is the non-communicative twin. I have 2 twins. One that's really good at calling home and the other one that is very socially active. What did you do with the pink one? The hat. Oh, here it is. Yeah. I could. I just have to undo my stitching on the side and then I can rip it and steal the yarn from that because I can't put this in the shop. 1, political, and 2, knitting.
Your socially active kid tells you that your not socially active kid doesn't want this hat.
The socially active kid said, can you make them like the hats you made her last time? And last time she had stripes.
Then you should absolutely give her that hat. Yeah. And when she says, oh no, Mom, I don't like it, you should tell her that, well, then you should call more often.
Yeah, well, I could do that, actually. I could, maybe, because I can't put them in the shop. Like I said, it doesn't belong in the Viking shop whatsoever. But
well, the knitting kind of excludes it immediately.
Well, the knitting excludes it, but even the other one, because of political reasons, Americans know what that is, and we don't want to have politics on that. Yeah. To the Norwegian kid, it's a hat with kitty ears.
I don't know what that is, but that is also kind of neither here nor there. As long as it's knitted, it's already excluded, so you don't have to speculate about the politics.
Well, I've got a couple of bonus daughters in their class. They're friends. They're really good. One of even sent me a message for my birthday. Hi, Alex and Cecilia's mom. Happy birthday. She can have the hat. But anyway, I don't know. If I undo it, then I'm further behind on my stash busting. So I think I'll probably just send her an extra hat and they can give it to a friend. Let's see. Sorry, I feel... Oh, yeah, no, I'll read about that later. Lindsay goes and explains... this explains the hat thing in there. You can read about that later. And you'll see why I'm trying to avoid the political part of it. How did anyone even discover resin allows horsehair... How did anyone discover that resin allows horsehair to make a good sound when drawn across taut strings? That was PJ's comment on the Tegel harp thing we were talking about. I have no idea. Maybe they were just kind of... I don't know.
I have no idea.
We know they made milk strainers out of horsehair, but I don't know if that's from the Viking Age. But they were... And we... somebody even has horsehair woven fabric. Sigrun got her hands on some of it. I think it was Alexandra who had brought some to the village, and Sigrun bought it up like that and then made something out of it and put it on a fashion show in London about a month or two ago, a couple months ago. It was quite cool. So they used horsehair for a lot of things. So maybe somebody just had it close to their ear and just went, you know, when you're in the shower and your hair is wet and you can hear that it goes, Just me.
Typical Viking activity. Go shower with your horsehair strainer or whatever.
Oh, I'm talking super fast now, but that's because there's a lot to get through. Raymond, the Prime Bunny. I like that he's got that in his name now. Bragi gave music and poetry to the Vikings. Apollo gave music to the Greeks. Somewhere in the world would be instructions for the resin and the strings, etc. I like that. Oh, we got to get Greg here to tell a story about music or something. There's got to be something in Viking mythology about music.
There isn't, but
No, but
Greg can find something.
He can look it up and find something. It'll give him some homework. And Garcia says, Karen, you're worse than me. And she's referring to this. Oh, yeah, I got a lot of yarn. And my mom knows how to de-stash. She just gives it to me. So when it comes to Nalbinding, said Max, when joining the yarn, you don't have to spit place to continue the pattern. You would, well, you don't have to use spit splice. You could also, you could use any join you want. This one, for example, I have no idea if this even splices. I'm not even sure what this yarn is. It's something I got for my kids and I made a sweater out of them with really big stitches. Let's see. I just call it the bubblegum yarn because it looks, oh, I see why. It's Rowan Tumble. It's 90% alpaca and 10% cotton. So it will felt, but it won't be a pretty felt. Oops, sorry. There you go. That was the name of that yarn, and I'm positive they don't make it anymore. But the pattern had me using this yarn with really thin silk mohair at the same time. That was a slightly lighter color, and it gave it a really cool texture. But it's like you can't even pull. I don't know if there's a ply in this or what it is. It almost feels like it's felted and twisted. Maybe it's a Lopi, but it's so weird. And if I tried to overlap this, it would be really thick splice, which I think would show up and make it even worse. So I'm doing a lazy join. There you can see. I do this with white yarn too, so I don't have to worry about anything getting on there. It's a little, basically, you have to kind of follow the pattern, follow your stitch where your yarn went on the back, and then just kind of hold it back and then keep going. And then when you come around again, then you move this one out of the way. And then when you've passed it a ways, then you can just sew them under. So many innuendos, says Karl. Yeah, too bad. That's how I make him happy. Okay. Let's see what else we got here. Ah, PJ's book is almost finished at last. Congratulations. You have to post it when it comes out. We need to see. Let's see. Roger had the New Year's resolution, aim for 0. I like that. Albert says, I have done none this week, and I have worked nights, so I have been sleeping daytime and working nights. Is that an acceptable excuse, Karl?
Better than mine, so.
Karl says your excuse is better than his, so it's acceptable. Let's see. The balm contains cooling. Fingers crossed for the texture. There was a bit more about the balm in chat there. I never get the heels right in the size or in the same place on both socks. I have to do them in tandem, so then I don't have to think about counting or anything. So this one is to the point where I have to start increasing. So I did this one. It'd be the same with the socks too, though. This is to the point, I'll finish this row. And when it comes back here, then it'll be to the point where I need to, if I'm happy with the fit of it, maybe one more row. When I'm done increasing, then I'll do this one that far. And then I'll remember how many I skipped and how many I chained to this part here. So then this will match. But if I do it at the same time, then the chances are pretty good that my heels will be the same. But they're gonna felt a bit with wear anyway. So even if there's a little bit of a difference, it'll still look even when it's done. These ones, I just haven't worn them too much because I didn't like that the heel kept sliding down. So that's why they look like that. Ooh, Robert's nearly finished with his second Robert Reynolds is says socks nearly finished with your second one. Did you start socks? No, I saw you did a hat. So Robert, you are officially a needle binder now, by the way. This is a hello from Glasgow, by the way. He snuck in a little bit late there because he's been shoveling snow. I did too yesterday. My back can feel it. Oh, Susan E's here too, by the way. Andrea says, I want to try to make socks now. I have hats and fingerless gloves down. Socks seem intimidating, so I have been putting it off. I have a pattern on Instagram. There's 2 of them. One with stripes and one without. Go for the one that does not have a striping. and that'll help. That'll be an easier one anyway, but that one's from top down. But at least you don't have to worry about having your stitch count right in the beginning, because either your sock starts here or it starts there. You can base it on that. Okay, and then we're at 7:30 here now, so I will show you if I can try to set this up. I should have had Karl hold the camera. I'll show you the stitch of the month one more time. We got 5 weeks this month, so we're getting extra. Maybe I can do it like this. The Harry Potter box. Let's see. So the variant G, we're still on variant G, and we got one more, and then we have one more stitch of the month. Okay. So variant G, if you haven't seen it yet, it's basically Mammon or Corgan, but with a different connection. So you got one on your thumb. Oops, sorry. One on your thumb, and you're going to use the 2 loops behind. This is kind of dark here. There you go. Those 2 behind the thumb. But your connection, normally you would do F1, or F2 for Mammon, or F1 for Corgan, which is these top ones. But you're going to use a middle one, which is these, plus the one on the top. So like that. So this little braid at the top, you're kind of going right under the braid. Sorry, there's M1, which means middle one, and F1, which is front one. Or at least that's how I remember it. And then the 2 loops behind the thumb. So I'll move my hand so you can see there. Go away and then go forward under this loop and under that one. It's a little hard to hug this box here, but it's working. There you go. And that is variant G. And this was originally, I was thinking about making a pouch, but mine is pretty holy because of the connection, but it's also because of the thinness of the yarn. So there was PJ, I think it was, who had a picture of thicker yarn with it, and it turned out quite nice. And so you can, if you don't want those holes through there, it is possible to use with thicker yarn. And then I saw Niki finished a bag, so I have to show this. If I make it a little bit bigger, maybe. I didn't get to print, so it's... Oh, no, this is the stitch. Wait, she's got a picture somewhere of the completed bag. There it is. Okay. And her yarn is a bit thicker than mine, I think. And it's apparently a success because her kid has already commandeered it. Oops, that's me. You want to see the stitch. Oops, not that one. There. Isn't that cute? So that's variant G and variegated yarn. One that's automatically changing, but you can see if I can get it bigger. That hers isn't as holy in between as mine. But I like the look for this, but it'll be a better hat than it would be a bag because everything would fall through it. But I like them both. Max says, so Karin, I recommend looking up a pattern for Samado 9's old Nalbinding website to make a pair of gloves in her blog. Oh, yeah. Let's see. Noilakinas. Yep. So it's this page, Noilakintat, and if you don't like it in Finnish, you can change it to English up in the corner there. And then she's got it in here. She's got the step-by-step patterns. How you can do cuff up, top down. She makes this pair of mittens, and you'll have seen them before. You might have to. She's still updating this page, by the way, but I think it's also in here with the newcomers. But if you looked up Noilakintat and then mittens, there, and you can see her pattern there. I think if I go in images, yeah, you'll see it. This is the one she's talking about there. And there. And there, you can see it's on YouTube as well, how she makes it. She's easy to tell by this blue background, and oftentimes she's working with the blue yarn. So that's the one that Max is talking about. Mine is on here. If I go to, I can see myself. Oh, my internet's a bit slow. But it's Karin _Beam. Karin with an I. There we go. And then you'd have to go way down first because I haven't posted anything in a while, including this stash busting. You can see I need to. My data space has been used up for the month. But as you go way down, you'll see a sock or a mitten. For the mitten, you just don't finish the mitten, so the top isn't done if you want it wrist warmers. Oh, Easter eggs. I've got to do those again. I forgot to do one last year. Anyway, my internet is too slow because I'm streaming at the same time. Oh, there's Karl. Anyway, way down, you'll see something that'll say step 1, step 2. Those are patterns. I don't know if I can find it in there, but let's just pick this one. Oh, this is the Grinch hat. So this is a pattern, but the pictures are not on, or it's not a hat, but like a doorstop thingy. There was stash busting, Karl's hat. But anyway, if I just pick a picture, flip through, there's an arrow here. Flip through the pictures to see the different parts of that step anyway. But you'll find my patterns on there. One of these days I'll put them in PDF format. So Karl?
Yes?
Anything else we need to add that we forgot to add this week? You brought crab back from Celia. Your father gave you some crab.
Yeah.
But 2 big fat juicy ones, so I don't know if we can make a gumbo out of it, but...
I think it's just... It's not... but I did see in the shops in Celia they are selling the shells that
Crab
are
meat
full
in the shell?
with crab meat. And I also saw wild meat in the same shop.
Yeah, that's what we were going to get onto. Strange Norwegian food. We do that every December.
Yeah.
But I think we have to go into repeats now, because I think we've, over 4 years, have done all of it.
No, wild meat would be a new one.
Whale meat would be a new one, yeah.
It's not like it's something Norwegians eat a lot.
No, it's not my favorite thing, but it's not bad.
Very rare food nowadays.
Yeah.
Because we don't hunt the whales anymore.
So, yeah.
Or at least... But I'm assuming this the whale that they're selling the meat of
We're
probably
going
didn't
all
die
kinds
natural
of politically
causes,
incorrect
but-
today. But yeah, no, then maybe we'll make a, should we make a gumbo out of it again? See if we can repeat that. And then we gotta have, oh yeah, and then we have, no, we can't can we make a whale meat gumbo?
No, that sounds... it sounds... Wild meat tastes like meat from a cow or an ox that has been boiled in...
It looks like ground beef.
In fish oil.
Yeah, but it has a fishy taste to it.
But it is meat. The whale is a mammal. It's not
Yeah.
a fish.
No.
So
I fooled my kids one year. I made tacos with it.
my plan worked, by the way. The
They're
cat
playing
is
with
now playing
yeah.
with the...
No, I made tacos with it. I ground it up because it was ground meat. And I did have a slight fishy taste to it, but it comes out very black. But I don't, anyway, so the kids just, I told them after, I said, how'd you like the tacos? And they thought, yeah, no, they were really good. And I said, was the meat okay? Well, we just thought you burnt it a bit. Why? And I said, no, it's whale meat. You had a whale taco. So we could do, that one. And we have to try to get a hold of Rockfisk.
yeah, but that...
And you wanted to bring back the sheep's head.
We have rockfisk in the shop down here all the time.
Yeah,
but
it's just really expensive.
Just expensive.
But it's good.
Um,
And then, okay, so we got to do that. Oh, another thing before I forget, Tina Vester has shouted out and said she's been contacted by a lot of people in the United States. They want to do a International Needle Binding Festival there as well. She's got one. Tina is the one that hosts the one in Denmark, which is August 15th through 17th this year, I think. But you know, the idea of having one in the United States is a great idea. So if you know somebody who'd want to organize or host that, send a message to Tina Vester, or let me know and I'll forward it on to Tina. That would be really cool.
Do you think the powers that be would send us to that?
We'd have to organize it though. I mean, we're talking about get a hall, I mean, I could think of in home. I could contact the Duluth Fiber Guild, and I could contact Ingebrigtsen in Minneapolis.
Point is that we are now allowed to go on courses and that sort of thing. So if potentially you could learn something there.
Yeah. No, I could hold an event. I could, teach there.
Yeah, but if the point is that
yeah.
we have to learn for the boss to finance it.
If you get Ann Decker to go there, I definitely learned something. Or Nella could do it. They could hold lectures on the history of it and the down to the fiber base and everything. Which yarn they used, which spin it was a Z twister. Yeah, you could get really geeky with it because history of needle binding is my weakness. Minnesota would be a good festival. Yeah. So Arlene, then she could go too. Yeah. And I might be able to get there. We'll see. But I don't know. We have to get somebody who could host it. But I thought Ingebrigtsen's might be a good one if you're not familiar with them. I think I pulled that page up. Let's see. It's a Scandinavian shop. Ingebrigtsen's, that one, Scandinavian gift shop and foods. It used to be in the Mall of America, and I don't think it's in the Mall of America now. But it's a wonderful shop if you want to get Norwegian sweaters, etc. And all kinds of Norwegian things. So I bet, because I know they do like Norwegian knitting and things. So I bet maybe we could, if we reached out, maybe that's something they'd be able to organize, because they probably have a place to do that. Oops, pet the kitty. There we go. That's gonna stay. So I don't know. I suggested that one. Another one was Kelsey Quant, which is the one who has both Facebook groups, Nalbinding and Nalbinding International. Now she just says Nalbinding International, but her and her husband started up the other one, and then due to a messy divorce, now that's why Nalbinding International was created. But it's basically the same crowd. So she might be one, and she's from Minnesota too. So she's in Nebraska now, but I think she's originally from Minnesota. I forget. They could work together. Or maybe Anne wants to do this. I don't know. But anyway, if you know somebody who is interested in it, Drea says, if I'm in Minnesota, I would love to be involved with running it too. There you go. But it's not something I can do from Norway. I wouldn't even know where to begin.
Yeah, I know.
Getting a hall, a location, and you'd have to have people to...
But of course not. That's not...
No, I wouldn't be. I'd be able to attend. I'd be able to participate, but I would not be able to organize it. No way.
Yes, but we are not supposed to be organizing this.
No. But she wrote just before we went on to YouTube that she wanted to know if I had anybody that she could contact, because she obviously can't organize one from Denmark in Minnesota as well. So, but anyway, so if you have any ideas, get in touch with her, or I'll get you in touch with her, and you can send. But it would be fun to see. If I could fly in and help that day, of course. See, there's a lot of people that would. But it has to be planned something like a year in advance. We could do an international needle binding festival here in Gudvangen, but it's going to have to be in the spring and maybe next year.
I would absolutely love to have more people to talk to about how weird the Minnesotans actually are.
But Minneapolis is Minnesota is like Scandinavian capital of the United States, although there's actually quite a bit of Scandinavians in Northern California too.
Scandinavia sent all their extroverts.
But in the north.
They just put them on the ship and sent them to Minnesota.
Yeah.
It's...
they did, but in northern Minnesota, because you did notice there's a difference between Minneapolis and Duluth. Minneapolis is more eclectic, but in Duluth is more...
Well, it's more different type of people in Minneapolis.
But even the dialect changes. I was surprised.
They are just as extroverted there as they are in Duluth, maybe even worse.
Oh, yeah.
Because the guy who's kept talking about his child support and...
yeah, but he's in Minneapolis. He was in St. Paul.
Yes.
Yeah, but he's... I don't think he's Scandinavian related.
I don't know, because...
You never know.
Scandinavians are not famous for being extroverted.
Just like Manitoba and Canada, yeah.
I think the explanation is that all the extroverted Scandinavians turned up in Minneapolis and Duluth.
Roger writes, Karin is very, very shy. I'm an introverted extrovert.
She's a delicate little flower.
But I gotta say, my years in Gudvangen has made it easier for me to talk in front of a group of people. This is a really great way to do it, is just talking to the camera. But I had a hard time, just demonstrating needle binding in front of 30 people or whatever in Gudvangen as they come by the group, and you have to demonstrate or talk about wool. And at first I could do it, but my eyes would be shut the whole time, or I had to kind of force myself to look at them.
Shut your eyes?
Yeah, I like this, because if I can't see them, it's a habit. Because it was hard to talk
all
in front
the
of people.
weird self-defense mechanisms I've heard
Some
of.
people, their skin turns red. Some people blink lots of times. But that's what I would do. I would do like this when I was trying to think, because I couldn't think in front of a group of people. So, no, but I'm better at it now. If it's something I know about, I can do it now. But
when it comes to talking in front of groups of people, for Norwegian, I'm bloody brilliant at it.
You're awesome. No, you were amazing. Jeez. You were born for that role.
Yeah. It's kind of an acquired taste, but my education goes in the direction of being a teacher, so you kind of have to.
But you're a guide too. That's.
But most Norwegians are comically bad at this, to the point where they are much, much worse than everybody else in the world, possibly with the exception of the Finnish.
Novia gets it. If you can't see them, they can't see you, right? Yes! The best game of hide and seek ever. Okay, ready, go!
It's ostrich logic.
Head in the sand, they'll never know.
It's actually a very, very common fear. The only thing I think is more common is the fear of snakes. But maybe back in my very early years of being a student, I didn't like holding presentations. But the way I act when I'm nervous in front of a group of people is that I'm like this.
Oh.
Because a group of people, and this goes back to your lizard brain, a group of people that are actually paying attention to you might be dangerous. Because they might decide to kill you or something. So my natural response when I'm worried about a group of people is that I keep looking at their eyes and their hands, their eyes and their hands, their eyes and their hands. And as long as I don't see any weapons for the first couple of minutes, I'll calm down and be fine. Also, I compare myself to other people constantly. And as long as I find at least one person who does a worse job than I expected that I would do, then I'm perfectly calm. Because I'm not the tallest tree on this particular savanna. If somebody is going to talk about how bad this presentation was, they're not going to talk about me, they're going to talk about this guy. So I'm fine. I can do whatever.
Sama 209 gloves. I'm just looking up the gloves. I think I know which one Max is referring to. Where she measures the gloves. It's the same lady though. It's Sana Philippa or Pila. I don't know. It looks like Philadelphia. I can never pronounce her name. It's Finnish. The gloves that she has made with fingers on them, where she was crocheting a chain to measure. I do have one glove pattern on there. It's the wrist warmers where Karl looks like he's doing this and he lost them. They're wrist warmers, but then I made individual tubes. And then I whip stitched the tubes on, tried to make an easier way to make a glove, and they worked out great. I just didn't finish off the fingers. Yeah. And then you lost them, by the way. But that's in there. You can kind of see, but it's not the same way that Sana made hers. There was when Ella said it was because Minnesota had similar work available than what the immigrants were making here. As most immigrants had poor language skills, you would go places where you knew people. Oh yeah, it's like you know the Five Corners in New York has also had their different. Yeah, no, the Hispanic, Spanish-speaking people, one area Italians.
It makes sense.
But we have that in Minnesota too. In the southern part, Minneapolis, St. Paul area, that's where the Germans and the Polish were. In the north of in Minnesota, you would have the Swedes, the Norwegians. I don't know if there was Danes there, and the Finnish. But if you go to the upper west corner, the Iron Range, that is almost all Finnish. Where Dale's family comes from, and they even have he has even more clipped dialect than I do.
And I feel so sorry for these guys, because they are the only introverts in the entire bloody state.
Yeah. But also northern Minnesota looks like Sweden.
They don't talk, they just give hand signals to each other. And everybody else is just chatting like crazy about every kind of mundane type of bullshit that I can pull out of their ass. So I have to say I feel for Dale and these people.
I've told this joke before, but I love it. So in Minnesota we have we have Sven and Ole jokes and all this other stuff, but one of them we say, of course, is about the Finnish. How do you know if a Finlander is extroverted? Speaking of introvert, extrovert, because he's looking at your feet. I think it's so cute because it's kind of true. Look at my stepdad. He's a Finnish family. Yeah, Minnesota Finlander.
But imagine being a poor Finnish person who spent your first probably 30 years trying to find out what your dad's first name is, because you just call him dad and you're too embarrassed to ask. And then somebody comes up to you and tells you that they can't get a passport because they are not paying child support and blah, blah, blah.
Oh, God, yeah, that guy. But that was in St. Paul. That was in...
Yes, but he was clearly not Finnish, is my point.
No, he was clearly not Scandinavian at all, by the way. But very talkative, they are down there. But I did notice there was a dialect change.
Of course there is a dialect.
Minneapolis has more attitude than Minnesota. Minnesota has more Fargo, don't you know? Duluth.
Yes, but the point is that all of them, except the Finnish, are talking to you all the time.
Oh, yeah, no, the Finlander doesn't. He just does this. What does that mean? You're going up and down the stairs. Oh, didn't know that. every time Carl would walk up, do you want to tell the story?
I asked him because every time I come down the stairs, I'm walking straight at where he
And
is
he's
sitting.
got his chair at the bottom of the
And he
stairs.
smiles at me and he does this.
And then he goes back to his iPad.
And then he goes back to his iPad and I just nod at him. But after a while, I'm perceptive enough to notice that this isn't a normal way to say hello to somebody. So in the end, I just give up and I go, okay, Dale, what does this mean? And he looks at me and goes, you go up and down the stairs a lot. And I go, okay.
So Carl...
He's been doing that to her for years and years, and she was thinking that he was just waving at her.
No, it's so true, because Carl told me the story about 2 or 3 weeks after we get home. Did you know Dale was doing this all the time? And he tells me the story, and I thought, really? Because he does this all the time, and I thought he was just saying toodaloo. All this time, I mean 20, 25 years, I thought he was just waving. Oh my god, that was awesome.
No, but the Finnish people, you kind of have to ask them what I mean.
Yeah. Nella's got Sana's name in chat, by the way, and another way to look it up. She's like a Nalbinding the Bible, a needle binding Bible on the internet. Let's see. Anyway, we're massively over time. Arlene said she's got a lot in Manitoba too. There's my ceiling again. How many cobwebs did you see? I will charge the gimbal for next week.
Probably a good idea.
Okay. No, but anyway, massive overtime. I hope I got everything. I forgot to weigh how much I used on my stash busting, but basically all the pink yarn. So, okay. I have to go put food in Karl and put this thing up on the wall. And hopefully we'll have a little more background next week up there. I have to move the pictures. And then maybe, I don't know, sweet talk to Greg, see if you can get him to come out. And tell him he has to ever have a story about music.
There are no stories about music, I keep telling you.
He'll find one. He'll find one. It'll be good. Say goodbye, Karl.
Goodbye, Karl.
He was going to kiss me. Did you see that? Okay. Bye. There.